Right, so we're going to continue on now for this final part of uh, showing you the basic menu. Now, it does take quite a while now, doesn't it? So, what we're going to do, we're going to just get straight into it. Okay, now prism. Now, I'm sure you know what prisms are, but for those, well, a lot of people can't figure it out. Okay, so if you select your brush, okay, you've got a nice square brush, and you click on prism. Now you choose the sides, okay? You do not ever go over 16. Okay, 16 is definitely the max you ever want to use, okay? It's just because otherwise you're going to create kind of glitchy effects and create leaks and such. So to avoid that, never go over 16, okay? And only ever use 16 if it's an extremely large brush, okay? For something this size, you won't want to go over 12. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to create an octagon. Okay, there we go. We have an octagon. Yeah, so now you can see there. There's just, whoops, no, it stayed right. Okay, so now we have that there. Okay, if I redraw a brush, okay, nice and big, and okay. So now we have that there. So now, what I'm going to show you is, before I move on to cone and sphere, the CSG. Okay, now CSG is really useful. Okay, now if I go inside the square brush here, I'll select it first. I go inside it, and I go CSG make hollow. It's now hollowed it. Okay, it has created a box, and inside, and the box walls will be the smallest grid size you have at that time. So I've got it on grid size 8, okay, which is number 4. But if I press 1 to go grid size 1, the walls would be that thick instead of that thick. Okay, so it will go to your smallest grid size to make the wall's thickness. Okay, so that's how you do that. So deselect that. Now if we go, well, I'll show you CSG merge. Merging is good. Okay, you can do that, and then you do that, and what do you know, if you select them all, okay, so you've ended up with some brushes you've been clipping or something like that, and you end up with those kind of things. All you have to do is CSG merge, and what do you know, it's all one. Okay, and then CSG subtract is really useful. Okay, you just create a shape, and you go CSG subtract. Now you can either use that for something or you can delete it, and now you have a kind of tunnel. And what's good is you can use it with any shaped brush, okay, like this octagon. Okay, you cannot use it with cylinders or anything out of the curve menu. Okay, it will not work with anything out of that. Only out of the brush menu will it work. So now if I CSG subtract, okay, now remember you can use these hotkeys. Okay, and now it's created a octagon tunnel. Okay, so it's really useful. Okay, really useful. And so you can create a cone now. Okay, I want an 8-sided cone. Whoops. And so if I was to go there, I'm not sure if this will work. I think it's got to be that. So if I go cone, 8 sides, hey, that's too big. Okay, cone 8, and we'll move it up. Oopsies. Right, well, close enough, but you know, it's just, I'm just showing you. Okay, I'm not trying to do it perfectly, but you see, then you create, you know, some sort of temple of sorts. I think it's sphere. Sphere is really a really weird one. it's not going to work. So if I create that, okay, it's a nice square, nice cube I should say. Now we're 12. Nope. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how this works, in all honesty. It's just really baffled me. I don't know how you meant to get it to work, but it just doesn't for me. Okay, anyway, now you got Clipper, okay? So if I create, say, that, okay? If you press X, that brings on the Clipper tool, okay? As you can see, that change there, okay? That is the Clipper tool. Now, what you can do now is you select one point of the grid and another point. And what do you know? Look at that. What this is basically a dissection of the brush. And what you can do is go if you press enter, it will delete the part that has the blue side on it. So there we go. And remember before in the preferences I had you have it on Calc and then you put it on there. Okay, so it's Calc. And oh, that kind of sounded weird. And you go oops. Okay. If you go Control Enter, it'll swap the sides that the blue is on. So now if you press Enter, it'll delete the other side. And now if you go Shift Enter, it'll just basically cut through it and it will keep both sides. Okay, really useful, okay, because with this you can create cool, you know, interesting different shapes. As I can just quickly show you here. Okay, you see I don't want that side, I want that side. And you can create these things, you know, and obviously you can go far more and do much, you know, far different things with it. But it's really useful. Okay, like you got overhanging brushes or something, you know, all you need to do is just quickly, you know, snip snap, and it's done. So that was just what I showed you basically. Make detail, okay? You want to make brushes that will not block the player's view, okay? Now a brush, you know, if you go to left on Clipper, okay, you create a big wall, okay? The player's running along here, he cannot see on the other side, okay? You make sure you leave that as a structural brush, okay? They are structural by default, so you do not need to worry. But if you've got something like the size of, okay, some little kind of thing like, you know, this, okay, some little detail of sorts that the player can see around, or it just does not block their view, okay? They can see the area behind it. You are best off making it a detail brush, okay, which is also Control M, okay. But the one thing I've noticed is, how the hell do you know the difference? Okay, how do you know what is a detail brush and what is structure brush? Okay, that's something I haven't figured out. I'm sure there is an answer. I'm sure there is something that can tell you, but I just do not know. And well, because it's basically blocking, it's all about this, okay, this is what blocks, okay, so if you can't see the area behind it, the game does not draw the map, the rest of the map then, okay, but if you can see it, then it will draw it. So if you've got a big wall, that's why you leave it there, okay. So you've got a big open area or something, and you got real low frames per second, okay, just simply put in a big wall somewhere that they cannot see behind. It will increase frames per second, okay, without a doubt. Now we go to curve menu. Okay. Cylinder. Create a cylinder. If you just do that, it'll do it to the size of the last thing, the last brush you had, and you can now go into V. Okay, if you go E or F, it will not work anymore, like the edges and faces. But if you use vertices, it will work. Okay, and basically you can select them. I can rotate it. Oh, whoops, wrong rotate. That rotate is that rotate. Why is that not working? Ah, I deselected it. Durr. Okay, and then you can move it along there. Okay, and then you just bring it up to. Okay, that now you see that's kind of ended up in the middle of something. I don't know how, but it just did. And bring that up there, and that one up there. And now we've created a kind of bent cylinder. And now if we go to textures, okay, as you can see with cylinders, now we can use this cap. Okay, cap would do that. Oh, that looks pretty good until you get to some parts where it is distorted. And clap again. Yeah, no. So you set it and go natural. Okay, natural's good unless you have something that's really bendy. Natural does not tend to work. It'll just kind of stretch it still. And fit, well, that's still the same. It'll fit the texture. So I'll just leave it as natural here. And okay. Sorry, just had to check something. And what we have here, okay, which is also under okay, I'm not sure where they are, but nevertheless, that's these here. Shift C. Okay, that's it there. Okay. So as you can see, these are what get put on the end of curve brushes. Okay, so you just take a look at the picture. Okay, we've got a cylinder there. What we do that, go okay, and look at that. It's put a cap on each end of the cylinder. Now, if you want to be able to see inside, obviously at the moment you cannot. Okay, it just does not work because it's a cylinder. It's only on one, textured on one side. If you want to see the inside, you can press I. Oops, sorry, not I. Control I. Okay. Control I. It goes to the inside. Okay, so now you can see on the inside. But now there's a problem. You can't see on the outside. You can just see right through it. Okay, what you need to do is you need to press spacebar to duplicate it, and then go Control I. And now you can see it on both sides. It kind of looks like a snake. But anyway, so that's that. Okay, Control I will invert the texture, so now you can see inside. Really easy. Now you got more cylinders. You got dense, very dense, or square. Okay, they're all pretty much the same. Obviously, square is a square, not round. End cap, bevel, those are these. Okay, that creates a round brush. Now, I do not think there is a way to thicken them anymore. I think that was only in 1.4 of GTK Radiant to be able to thicken them, because there was an option right down the bottom that was just called thicken, but there isn't anymore, so obviously that's a little problem. But that's why you would choose a square cylinder, because it can be thickened. As you can see, it's pretty much the same as a normal brush, except it doesn't have ends, and it can be, you know, bent. Cone, well, it's the same as the other cone, except now it's round. It doesn't there's that C word I'm looking for, but conform, I think it is, to the grid. It'll just be nice and round. Then you have simple patch mesh, which I showed you before, which is Shift P for short, and it's just one-sided texture. It's good to bend. It's really useful. Insert. I'll get back that patch. Okay, so if I go V, you see that there. If I insert columns, it inserts two that way. Now you can bend more. If I insert 2 rows, it'll go the other way. It's just so you can bend more. Matrix, that's what I showed you before. Not exactly sure what that does, in all honesty, but oh well. And cap, I showed you that. That just changes the cap texture. Okay. And then you have plugins, and they help. Okay, those are pretty obvious. Just check my time. Oh, wrong one. 16 minutes. This is the next video which I'm about to upload. So here is just the stuff that are in there, but it's just easy, quick keys. Open, save, undo, redo, flip, rotate, flip, rotate, flip, rotate. Select the touching, select the inside, CSG subtract, CSG merge, hollow, vertices, edges, faces. Not sure what that does. Translate. It's just moving it, I think. Yeah. Which you just need to select inside if you go on that. Rotate. That's a good one. Okay. You've got the 3 lines here. Okay. Red. Click on red. It'll rotate it that way. Click on green. It'll rotate it that way. Click on that one. It'll rotate it that way. Okay. So it's really good. That's R for short. Scale. You can scale it. Okay, I don't see much of a point in that one either. It's just really easy to use that one. And then you got clipper X. That texture lock, I just always have left it on. I'm not sure exactly what it does. Entities, console, texture browser. Refresh all the models. Brush cleanup, that's in use. Only use that if you really need to. I'm not exactly sure how much that is effective, but it can help. If you've got like errors when you're trying to load the map or stuff, you might want to try a brush cleanup, it can work. Polygons, not sure what that does. Calc, yeah, that's good. You select the entire where am I? There. Okay, you select the entire brush, you can just go calc, and it'll calc the entire texture, the entire brush. Tree planter, plot spline, don't know what they do. I'm not even going to bother. Merge, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's all of that. So let's end the tutorial, and I'll come back with entities.